Versatile Mage. Chapter 373. Misfortune does not come singly. In the quarantine zone set up for the plague, rows of beds were arranged under white tents. The beds were filled with patients covered with blisters on their arms and faces. Dark specks were visible on their extremely dry skin, but regardless of how much water they drank, it did not provide relief to the pain they were experiencing. Instead, more unknown liquid burst out from the blisters. The cries of agony rose one after another in the area. They consisted of the elderly, adults, and kids. The adults were immersed in fear of the unknown plague. They glanced at the healers walking past them, hoping they would be treated. Unfortunately, even the experts were totally clueless about how they could help them. Meanwhile, the innocent kids were enjoying themselves playing chase between the beds. They clearly had no idea what was awaiting them. Outside of the quarantine zone, several respectful people in the medical field were seated in a temporary meeting room made from tents. Instead of discussing how they could help the patients, they were actually counting down the time left for the infected people. They had never felt so helpless before. "Mr. Liu, we only have 3 days left. The first batch of patients will end up just like the corpses we saw before. The total number is," said a middle-aged man wearing a white coat. Mr. Liu raised his hand, signaling him not to say any more. He knew better than anyone else the total of people who were infected the earliest. That alone was not the reason why he was feeling extremely uneasy. The main reason why it all felt like the apocalypse to him was that the number of patients in the second batch and third batch was still multiplying exponentially. The total had gone over the limit they could estimate, as the people were scattered across all corners of Hangzhou City. "Mr. Liu, if we could find the source of the plague, we would be able to develop the serum to cure it. Everyone knows the gigantic snake is responsible for it. Why aren't we hunting it down yet?" asked the man in the white coat. As soon as he finished the sentence, the head of the magic court, Tang Jung, entered the tent. Mr. Liu cast a glance at him without saying anything. Mr. Liu was well aware that the snake was not a demon beast. It was the guardian of their city. Tang Jung was followed by Councilman Zhu Meng. His expression was a lot more dignified than before, but his gaze was filled with a hint of fury, a clear indication that he had just argued with the head of the magic court. "Tang Jung, are you seriously going to wait until the whole of Hangzhou is piled up with corpses? If you continue to do nothing, your wish will be fulfilled very soon. When that happens, you will be condemned by every person in Hangzhou. I don't care about my threat eliminating strategy. I'm not ordering you as a councilman, I'm just trying to save the people affected by the plague." Zhu Meng slightly lowered his stance. Tang Jung did not seem relaxed at all. He desperately wanted to resolve the matter. His determination was swaying too. Zhu Meng was about to say something when a royal guard quickly approached him and whispered in his ear. His expression immediately changed as he blurted out in excitement, "Did you bring back the totem orb?" The royal guard responded in a soft tone, "We've let you down. Please punish us." Councilman Zhu Meng almost lost his temper. They had sent out many interns, and yet they still failed to catch the two magicians. "A bunch of idiots." The royal guard, Li Jin, lowered his head further and added when Zhu Meng slightly calmed his anger, "We've brought Tang Yu and Mo Fan back, awaiting your order. Bring them here, now." A moment later, Tang Yu and Mo Fan, who had surrendered themselves, were brought to the quarantine zone. They were both dumbfounded, as they never thought the plague would become so serious in just the past few days. As they were brought to Zhu Meng, the councilman glared at the two with a shuddering jaw. He said with a grim laugh, "How nice of you two. If it were possible, I would execute you right on the spot. Should I bring you two on a tour around the area, so you can understand how much of a mistake you've made after witnessing how this whole place has turned into hell?" Mo Fan remained silent. Tang Yu bit her lips. Everything had happened too quickly, and the plague had worsened faster than she could imagine. The whole city had fallen to the plague after they left with the skyscraping snake, with everyone's life at stake. No one had seen a plague that could spread so rapidly, turning a peaceful, modernized city into a terrifying place full of sickness. She reached out her hand and handed a huge jar of the skyscraping snake's blood to Councilman Zhu Meng. This is the god's blood. If he's the origin of the plague, the blood should be useful to us. Zhu Meng signaled at Mr. Liu, who quickly received the blood and went to the lab with his team. They only had 3 days left to develop a serum. Guards, lock 'em up, ordered Zhu Meng. Li Jin immediately took them away. As soon as they left, a man wearing the outfit of a commander quickly came into the room. He saluted at Councilman Zhu Meng before whispering a piece of news into his ear. "What did you just say?" Councilman Zhu Meng stared at him. The crowd immediately shifted their attention toward Zhu Meng when they saw his abnormal reaction. They could not imagine what news it would be to bring such a great shock to him. "We've just received the news from the fortress. The situation is extremely critical. Councilman, please hold a meeting to assist us with the ambush," said the commander. "All right." Zhu Meng nodded in disbelief. "I'll send the order at once." When Wu Pingjing, the head of the royal guards, saw Zhu Meng's reaction, he asked, "Councilman, what's going on? Misfortune does not come singly, for fuck's sake." Councilman Zhu Meng let out a sigh. He did not even have time to tidy his beard, disheveled from the wind. The commander realized that everyone in the room was considered authority figures, so he quickly announced the shocking news. "The fortress close to West Ridge, to the west of Hangzhou City, has just told us that a huge group of white magic falcons has appeared. They were hungry, berserk, and fearless. No matter how we've attacked them with magic, they show no intention of retreating, and were flying straight toward the city." Tang Zheng's face filled with astonishment. From what he knew, a huge pack of white magic falcons was residing in West Ridge. However, they had always stayed within their territory, compared to the other demon beasts. Tang Zheng could not understand why the pack of white magic falcons would ambush Hangzhou all of a sudden. It was fairly rare for the demon beasts to launch an attack at a city, especially when Hangzhou City was heavily guarded. "We've got a big problem," said Councilman Zhu Meng. Tang Zheng nodded with a frown. The entire city was immersed in terror from the plague. The ambush from the demon beasts would only make the situation worse. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.